Tell me something, my INFJ friend. What if I told you that the very traits the world mocked you for, your silence, your depth, your intensity, aren't flaws at all? What if they're proof of something else? Something people don't quite have the language for? Because sometimes it feels like you're not built the same as everyone else, doesn't it? You walk into a room and feel the temperature of souls. You speak without words and still get understood. You sense storms before they break. You forgive until you don't, and when you finally cut someone off, it feels like death to them. Is that human? Or is that something people call you mysterious, too much, hard to read? But what if the truth is this? You're operating on a frequency most people will never tune into. What if INFJs aren't just rare but borderline superhuman? That's what we're diving into tonight. Not cliches, not memes, but the 8 superhuman abilities that make the INFJ unforgettable, untouchable, and yes, dangerously powerful. So here's my challenge to you. Read this like a mirror. And when one of these powers makes you stop and think, damn, that's me, don't just keep it to yourself. Drop your truth in the comments. I'll be there reading, responding, flame to flame. Because this isn't hype, this is revelation. And by the end, you'll know if the INFJ superhuman myth is actually true. 1. The deep diver. Questions that uncover truth. You've never been interested in the shallow end of life, have you? You don't linger in gossip. You don't cling to small talk. You don't waste oxygen on distractions. No, you dive, always, straight past the polite pleasantries, past the masks, past the bullshit performances people put on just to feel safe. Because you don't want skin, you want bone. You don't want the act, you want the ache. You don't settle for the story they tell everyone else. You want the one they whisper to no one. And here's the dangerous part. Your questions aren't just questions. They're scalpels. They slice through armor people have been wearing their whole damn lives. A single, softly asked, "But how do you really feel?" From "You can feel like surgery without anesthesia." Some people hate you for it. They call you too intense, too much, too probing. But let's be honest, that's because you saw what they've been running from. You name the wound they've been trying to bury. INFJ, you live where most people are terrified to swim. While others splash in the shallows, gasping for air, you're already a mile deep, swimming through wreckage, seeing the shadows, holding the pearls no one else is brave enough to touch. That's your superhuman ability, the courage to go where truth lives, to breathe in depths that suffocate most. My INFJ friend, has anyone ever told you you're too much just because you refuse to stay at the surface? When was the last time your hunger for truth scared someone off? Share it with me below. I'll be there, reading every story, holding space with you. 2. The strategic disappearance, the art of the door slam. Here's the thing about you. For the longest time, people think you'll never leave. You're the forgiver, the one who gives second, third, and 10th chances. You absorb storms, you hold space, you bend until you're nearly breaking. And that's why the INFJ door slam hits like a ghost story. One day you're there, listening, holding, giving, and the next? Silence, absence, vanished like smoke. People never see it coming because they mistake your patience for permanence. They thought your empathy was an infinite resource, but you know the truth. Patience has a finish line. Empathy has boundaries. And once the line is crossed, it's not just a goodbye, it's an obliteration. The door slam isn't about revenge. It's not petty, it's not drama, it's resurrection. It's you reclaiming your soul and saying, my life force will not be collateral damage for your chaos anymore. And here's the brutal beauty of it. When you disappear, you don't just walk away. You cut the cord, energetically, spiritually, permanently, and once you cut it, there's no glue strong enough to put it back. That's the superpower of the INFJ disappearance. It doesn't echo, it erases, and people who thought you'd never leave suddenly realize they were already gone from your heart long before your body ever walked away. Tell me, have you ever stunned someone with the finality of your silence? 3. The selective curator, intuition as a filter. Your intuition isn't just a hunch, it's a damn radar. You walk into a room, and before a single word is spoken, you already know. Who's safe? Who's lying? Who's aching behind a fake smile? Who's performing? Who's hiding? Who's bleeding under their armor? Most people stumble through social circles blindfolded. But not you. You see the threads. You feel the frequency. You read the currents under the surface that others can't even name. And here's the paradox. Because of that radar, your circle is small. You don't collect people like souvenirs. You curate them like sacred art. Not everyone gets access. Not everyone gets past the velvet rope of your soul. That's why people sometimes call you picky, aloof, or even cold. But let's be real, you're not cold, you're precise. You don't settle for noise, you're not interested in quantity. You're interested in resonance. Your energy is too rare, too refined, too alive to waste on connections that don't vibrate at your level. And while others spread themselves thin, chasing validation, you conserve, you protect. You choose with surgical clarity. Because you know, one real soul in your corner is worth more than 100 bodies in your room. 4. The archival mind, a memory for meaning. You don't just remember events, you remember the essence of them. The way the room felt when the words went silent. The micro shift in someone's eyes when they pretended to be fine. The exact tone of a laugh that didn't match the smile. Your memory isn't a dusty filing cabinet of facts. It's a living archive, stitched together with meaning, emotion, and soul-level detail. While others forget, you carry the threads. You hold the weight of what was truly there. And that's why people can't bullshit you. They may rewrite their story, edit their past, or pretend they never said what they said, but you remember. Not just the words, but the truth under the words. The truth they buried, hoping no one would notice. It's not about pettiness or keeping score. It's about accuracy. Your memory is proof that the unseen was real. And it's why your forgiveness is so radical, because when you choose to forgive, you're forgiving with full awareness of the wound, not denial of it. It's also why betrayal cuts you so damn deep, because you don't just remember the moment someone broke your trust. You remember every vulnerable detail you gave them leading up to it. You remember how sacred the connection was before it shattered. INFJ, your memory is your quiet superpower. It doesn't just record. It preserves, it protects, it honors the sacredness of human truth in a world obsessed with forgetting. What's one thing you've carried in your memory that everyone else seemed to forget? Drop it in the comments, I'll be there, honoring your archive with you. 5. The deliberate decider, weighing every outcome. People think you're indecisive. That's bullshit. You're not indecisive, you're deliberate. You see the ripple effect of every choice, every move, every yes and every no. It's not hesitation, it's calculation. And while others jump fast and regret later, you move slow and rarely miss. Have you ever been called too slow in making decisions only to later be proven right? Tell me your story. 6. The unwavering idealist, a vision for what could be. Your vision terrifies as much as it inspires. You don't just see what is, the mundane, the surface level, the safe. You see what could be. The world as it might exist if people dared to be braver, softer, wiser, and more whole. And that's a dangerous gift. People whisper unrealistic or impractical, but they don't realize that your vision is a compass for souls too small to navigate their own hearts. You carry a map others don't yet have the courage to read. Your idealism isn't naivety, it's a kind of radical courage. You imagine bridges where others see chasms. You imagine light where others only see shadows. And because you refuse to settle for the good enough that so many accept, you're often lonely in your pursuits. But that's the secret of the INFJ superhuman. You don't chase the world's approval. You chase alignment with truth, with love, with possibility. Your vision is a lighthouse for those ready to follow. And one day they will. Yes, your idealism has made you the target of cynics. Yes, it has left you exhausted, frustrated, and misunderstood. But INFJ, without your vision, many would never have the courage to dream at all. You are the quiet force that pulls the future into being, whether anyone else sees it yet or not. 7. The human lie detector, reading between the lines. No one has to tell you, you just know. The fake smile, the too quick answer, the eyes that look away, you read the hidden script under the performance. And the thing is, you're not always happy to know. Sometimes you wish you could unsee it. But this gift, this curse, is what keeps you awake in a world built on masks. When was the last time you just knew someone wasn't telling the truth? 8. The meaningful conversationalist. Aversion to small talk? You can't do the weather talk, the empty chatter, the soulless exchange. For you, conversation is not noise, it's alchemy. Words are a bridge, a way to transform, to heal, to reveal. And that's why people either adore talking to you or avoid you, because your presence demands truth, and not everyone is ready for that. What's the most meaningful conversation you've ever had, the kind that changed you? My INFJ friend, now that you've walked through the 8 superhuman powers, the depth, the silence, the intuition, the vision, the empathy, the memory, the discernment, and the ability to read souls, let me tell you something. None of it is a coincidence. None of it is a mistake. You are not too much. You are not too sensitive. You are not a puzzle anyone else needs to solve. You are a force of nature cloaked in human form. Every glance you read, every truth you sense, every storm you navigate without a word, that is your power. That is your frequency. Some will misunderstand you. Some will fear you. Some will never get it, and that's fine. Your superhuman INFJ gifts were never meant to be for everyone. They were meant to be felt, respected, and wielded wisely. So here's my challenge to you, warrior of the deep. 1. Drop a word or a thought in the comments that captures one of your INFJ powers tonight. 2. Share this with another soul who's been called too much or too intense. Let them know their superhuman nature is real. 3. Subscribe, because we're just scratching the surface. The deeper truths, the inner strategies, and the subtle power moves of INFJs deserve to be explored together. You are rare. You are layered. You are untouchable, not because you hide, but because you see, you feel, and you act on levels others will never reach. And here's the final truth. Whether the world calls it a myth or a miracle, your INFJ superhuman abilities are real. And when you embrace them fully, you stop asking if you belong in this world, because you start shaping the world around you.